Hey guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. The topic I wanted to talk about today is the source of creating abundance in your life. So for the past, I would say it's been almost half a year now, I've been on a steady journey of figuring out the ways to grow abundance in my life. And I still am on a spiritual journey, but I got to the point on my spiritual path where I started to understand that the only way I can create change in the world and help other people is if I in turn have money and wealth that I can share and spread with these people. So what I have done is I've started reading many different books, going to seminars, listening to different tapes, seeking out different mentors and listening to their opinions, listening to their perspectives. And I've gathered up a couple of really good theories about the creation of abundance. Now, what I do sometimes before I make a video is I'll scan through my books and I'll see if anything pops out at me and if anything relates to what I'm talking about. And tonight I wanted to see if I could just attract the book that would be the best to pull some quotes out for this video. And I pulled out this book right here. It's called Awaken, The Ultimate Spiritual Journey by Brett Jones. You can just go on Google and check out the book and order it if you feel like that's something you should be doing. When I opened the book, I closed my eyes and I just opened it to a random page, and the page I pulled out, right on the top, it said, "How do I attract abundance?" So when I saw that, I went, okay, I have to do this video on abundance. And what this book talks about, what I wanted to talk about initially anyway, which is very, very cool and kind of almost surreal that happened, is are you going to create abundance from ego versus, let's say, divine self? Now, as you know, there's lots of people in the world who have money, and there's people that do really good things with their money, and there's people that do really bad things with their money. And we know that, so let's not BS around it. The people that, are not doing such great things with their money are probably up here, somewhere living in ego. Because this right here is a want to have money because they want to be better than other people. They want to show off. They want to keep it in the family. They want to be greedy about it. They don't want to share their wealth. They're doing it just for the purpose of saying, I'm rich, I'm better than you, I have more cars, I have a bigger house. Whatever that kind of ego, however that ego wants to separate itself from the rest of the human beings on earth, that's their reasoning for wanting to make wealth or attaining that wealth. And then there's wanting to make money and wanting to gather wealth from the divine. So I look at these people as the people that made a lot of money in their lives, and when they passed away, they gave away all that money. There was nothing left. They didn't pass it on to generation. Maybe they gave a little bit to their kids, but they didn't, give an empire. They let that empire to be spread along the less wealthy and to be used to do really, really good things in the world. So before I, talk any more on this, I just want to read to you the passages from this book that put it into words in a much more relatable way than I think I'm saying it right now. So I think I'm just going to read this to you guys. So here we go. How do I attract abundance? The secret is to be in alignment with the divine, to remain connected to it during every day, even when not meditating. Too many people seek to create from the ego that merely result in a roller coaster ride of have or have not. Things go well for a while and then they turn to disaster. I'm sure many of you can relate to this. I can relate to it, I know that for sure. Being in alignment with the divine by awakening creates from the frequency of creation itself. The power of this is unlimited. So in a lot of the trainings that I've been doing, we talk about this frequency. that you put out with your brain about what you want and what you desire. And where that frequency comes from determines that frequency's power. So if your frequency comes from the divine self, from this place of love, compassion, connectivity to everyone else around you, then that frequency is going to have this beautiful high vibration that's going to send a clear signal into the universe of what you want. It says here that the purpose of this power is to create. The purpose that the ego follows is to possess for itself. The more it accumulates, the more it can say, look at me, look at how great I am. In this limited understanding, it sees that it has one life to accumulate and it must rush to do so. It does not understand that what is needed is not things, but the connection to who one truly is. When you have awakened and can remain in the divine, you will experience a natural accumulation of good karma. This attracts to you abundance. As the ego seeks a result, once achieved, it will seek another. It is always seeking more, no matter what has been achieved. So the ego is always hungry. You're never going to please it. It's never going to feel satisfied and full, which is what we all want out of life, to feel fulfilled and satisfied with what we have. There is a huge difference between wealth and abundance. The former is ego created, the latter is from the divine. One lasts, the other does not. One involves becoming closer to the truth, the other further away from it. The ego can create wealth, but its form of creation is based solely on the need to be recognized, to be separate by being better than everyone else. Experience and maintain the connection to the divine and then create out of that. It will last. And not for the purpose the ego seeks, but for the purpose of bringing all of us together. There can be no greater reason to seek the truth. Now, I don't know about you, but that's pretty powerful to me. And this kind of brings me to, how do you make decisions out of here? How do you want out of here instead of want out of here? And, this kind of loops around to what I do. This loops around to why I'm a yoga teacher, why I want to spread the awareness of what meditation can do, what breathing practices can do, what specific movements can do. Because at the end of the day, what it really does over time is gets you from here into here, where you can start looking at things from an outside perspective, when you can start looking at what's good for the whole, what's good for everybody. And you don't look at the actions that you take as how is it going to benefit just me. You look at the actions that you take and you go, how's it going to benefit everybody? Because at the end of the day, if you have a lot of money, money's not the root of all evil. It's the people that are doing things with money that can be the root of all evil. So what are you going to do with your money? Are you going to live in the ego, or are you going to live in the divine self? That should really not be a hard question for you to answer. You should obviously want to make decisions out of here. And if this is a route that you want to go, all I can say to you is pick up a simple book of what yoga is, what meditation is, what energy healing or energy work is, and just start. Start somewhere. Start simple, but start. Start living from this place. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or rest of your night, depending on when you watch this. And if you want to chat with me about anything, if you want to send me a personal message, if you want to contact me, leave your comments down below. Leave me, an email. You can go into my contact information and see my email there. So feel free to contact me and let's get chatting. Namaste.